Just when things were looking up, Ryan, now they're looking back down as UConn star Paige Bueckers suffered a torn ACL in her left knee Monday and will miss the 22-23 season, the school announced today.
Yeah, news coming out.
We were out playing football, throwing the football around, right? And you came up to me and you're like, Phil, you're not going to like this. And, first thing came to mind, I was thinking Ravens news because how many players got hurt last season. But Ryan, this is a major blow. And I tell you what, the amount of talent that they have, Ryan, I can see them still coming out on top as far as the conference. They're going to get tested, but at the same time, this really puts a blow into March Madness. It does, even if they make the big dance. Sit back, prove me wrong. People are not going to like when I say this. Ryan, they are not winning the national championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to, just like you said, it's hard to imagine the UConn Huskies team, and we've talked about it throughout the whole entire all season when we've been going through all the players on this roster about how deep the team is and talking about all the different starting lineups. But it's just hard to imagine the UConn Huskies winning a national championship without Paige Bueckers. And the UConn did really, really well as a whole when Paige Bueckers was out last season, missed about 17, 18, 19 games, something like that, also with a left knee injury or left leg injury. And this is a torn ACL in her left knee. So, yeah, it's just hard for me to imagine that the UConn wins a national championship without her. But the team is really deep this year. AZ Fudd, Caroline Ducharme are going to have to step up in a major way again this season, just in their sophomore year. And I'm just really grateful that UConn has Lou Lopez and Nika Mule, but to get Lou Lopez as a transfer, her status as a UConn player and expectations just went from here all the way up, and the expectations are really they could possibly fall a lot on her, and a lot of the scoring could shift to around Lou Lopez.
When you talk about this news that we got today, you talk about Lou Lopez, are you going with her? Who takes the most pressure? Who's going to put the team on the back? Because to me, it has to be someone. You might not say during the beginning of the regular season, but Ryan, there's got to be a point where I'm not going to name them Paige Bueckers number two. There's Paige Bueckers is second to none, but who's going to step up even if they make the big dance? And who's going to who do you see having them big games?
Yeah, I mean, you just can't really replace Paige Bueckers, but I think if somebody's going to step up, it probably will be Lou Lopez. I definitely think Caroline and AZ can step up, and they will. But I just think for Lou, her being a transfer, obviously first year and last year as a college player, first year in UConn, just learning the system throughout the all season. We know she has a lot of experience, played very well at the 4 years she was at the other college in Connecticut. But yeah, I mean, I just think there's so much, not pressure, but expectations now for Lou, just because she has so much, background knowledge of just playing basketball, being able to score. And we know she can score in bunches. So I think most of the scoring does shift to her, but AZ Caroline can also score a lot too. But obviously, this is just devastating news. I don't think anybody, you can never predict injuries, but this is one of the worst things that could have happened to this UConn Huskies team.
I'm looking through now, trending on Twitter. So she will undergo surgery on Friday. Yeah, I told you that I saw a video posted on YouTube a long time ago, and the title was Paige Bueckers will never get drafted by the WNBA. Well, I told you that was severely false information. I didn't believe that, but now it's starting to look, even if she does, I mean, I talked to you about this down on the field. What are the chances that she goes first round still? I mean, I don't know if you even take a chance on her now.
Yeah, it's a very interesting conversation because obviously her freshman year, she came in, she lit the world on fire, the basketball world on fire, won AP Player of the Year, first ever to do it as a freshman. And then last season, of course, she gets injured and comes back, still plays very well. And then, just as we think she's recovering, she's fully recovered. And then she tears her ACL 2 days ago and obviously gonna miss the whole entire season. So she'll still have her senior year, but it just the question now is how healthy is that left knee or leg gonna be throughout her whole entire career, not just the 2 years that she has left in UConn, but going forward as well. So I think the question is probably going to be, more understood, and we can answer it better after her senior year or possibly after that second year. But I definitely think Paige, obviously, she's a fighter. She's a very unique basketball player, talented, gifted, and there's not many players that have the talent that she has. But I definitely think she'll definitely come back from this. But it definitely is a good question and conversation to have, because we really don't know how healthy that leg and knee will get.
Because this is the second time you told me, the second time, same injury, same
Yeah,
leg.
same leg.
So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's a lingering issue now. All right. It's not like you have your athlete and they come back stronger than ever, right? I'm reading a lot of people, obviously, they're wishing her a healthy comeback, but you have to question now. This is the second time. All right. You understand that? The first time when she came back, I already told you it was obvious. People did not want to comment on this podcast. They did not want to even mention it. We mentioned it. She was really favoring that leg, Ryan, when she came back. And when we had that big podcast or video when they announced her comeback during the 21-22 season, she was really not in great shape then. I could tell.
yeah, and I think that might have been the NC State game, the game that I went double overtime, or it was one of the March Madness games where Paige came off the court for a little bit and then came back in, and she was favoring her leg again. So, like I said, you just have to wonder how healthy her leg actually was. Even when she returned last season, she played fairly well, especially in March Madness. She was one of the main reasons she got to that, or UConn got to the title game. But yeah, I mean, you just have to question how healthy she actually was at the end of the season and then going into the off season. But yeah, it's just a devastating blow because the expectations for Paige Bueckers this year to come back healthy and just kind of lead this UConn Huskies team back to the conference title, back to the title of women's college basketball, and being able to get over that hump, and UConn finally being able to win a national title. And that, just it gets a lot more complicated now.
This is a really big topic that I'm going to get into. And people, I know they would definitely comment on this. Tell us how you feel about it. Ryan, this is really, it's pretty serious. Not so much college players get paid the big money. We understand that. But that said, we don't want to start any rumors here. If Grobel is in fact right, let's see this comment. UConn season is in turmoil. Paige tore her left ACL playing pickup game. All right, done for the season. Injured same leg as the tibial plateau fracture and MCL tear. What are your opinions? You can tell me truly how you feel, no matter what the opinions are of other people that watch this. How big is it that if in fact he's right, she was not in practice when this happened? We talk about how important they are to the game. So a lot of people think that these kind of players can have their freedom, and a lot of people think that they can't. It's been a big, heavy topic, especially with Lamar Jackson, and the is actually a off-season program he runs with the kids every year down in Florida. And they're always questioning. They're like, okay, what if he suffers an injury when it's not in a game or practice? It looks like if Gerber was right, there's going to be a lot of bad blood, let's just say.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but I mean, in my opinion, I think you have to just kind of let these players do whatever they want, especially during the off season. Because like I said, you can never predict, nobody can ever predict injuries. So I mean, anytime a player goes on the court, no matter if it's during the season or in practice. But I think especially just during off-season activities, when you're just out there having fun, not thinking about anything else, not thinking about going to practice, going to college, going to the game, getting ready for the regular season. Just when the players like Paige was doing that exhibition match pickup game, going out there having fun, you just you just never think about you going on that court and then end up getting injured, and it's going to affect your college basketball career. So, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think it's really that big of a deal in terms of what players do during the off season. Especially, I mean, if it's just a pickup game. Now, I mean, I would understand if she's out there without like her trainers or something doing really heavy drills that possibly she could get injured, and not under watch of somebody like a trainer or something like that. But just a pickup game, you just can never expect anything like that.
So, I mean, if you're head coach Gino, you don't mind at all that this happened, not during heavy practice, not during a game, but just a pickup game. You don't think anything of it.
No, I don't think it changes the mindset of it. Obviously, it's a devastating injury no matter where it happens, but I think how it happens, I don't think it really changes anybody's mindset.
Yeah, that's true, because you just have to question how healthy would, if it didn't happen now, would it have happened beginning of the season, middle
Yeah,
of the season,
anytime. Yeah.
March Madness, so yeah, I'm telling you right now that it's going to be hard for this team to gather themselves. When we talk about mental toughness, how about mental toughness?
Yeah, and that's what they had to do last season as well. Not only when Paige was out, but basically the whole entire team was out too. They had to find a way to fight through that and use their mental toughness, like you just said, to battle through the season, work through the practices, and keep on grinding and keep on learning together as a team, and pick up each other when they were down. And it looks like this season they're going to have to do the same exact thing without Paige Bueckers.
When you look back at this, we saw these stories before, Ryan, about how star players get hurt and they come back the next year, the team wins it all. With that said, I know you still have this season to get through. Any possible chance that you can, obviously, that assuming she stays healthy, that you can obviously see a championship. Maybe she rides out into the sunset with UConn and she doesn't return for a second senior year.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing we were talking about this season with everybody out last season. This was the season we were expecting everybody come back, UConn have a magical run and just blow through all the teams in the March Madness, get back to the title game and win it all. But I'm not writing them off yet. Well, obviously, I'll have to see. We still have the whole entire season to get through without Paige Bueckers. I think this team is definitely deep enough to make another run at it this year. But in terms of next year, Paige Bueckers' senior year, I definitely think if everybody stays healthy, we never know who's going to be healthy and who isn't. That's just the world the sports world that we live in now. But if everybody's able to stay healthy, I can't see why this UConn team next year would be able to make a run for Paige's senior year.
Because we talked about life after Paige Bueckers. This is exactly, it's coming earlier than everyone wanted to expect it, than everyone wanted to see, obviously. But I had talked to you about it, and now the time has come. The time has come. Even though she's still with the team, the time has finally came. And not that I wanted to see this, but it's on bad terms. But the time has came to see what it's like without Paige Bueckers.
Yeah, and nobody could have expected that it would happen this season.
Not
But
like this. No.
yeah, I mean, I guess the positive thing is that she should be able to be able on the bench for all the games that UConn's at, no matter it's home or away.
Well, yeah,
So
make
like
sure we don't
saw,
forget her intelligence, how smart
yeah.
she is when it comes to the game of basketball. Let's hope that she still travels with the team some, and especially if they make March Madness, and she's there to provide them comfort and support. And obviously, we talk about it. She's like Gino, right? I mean, she coaches them up.
Yeah, and her energy alone just on that bench, hyping up her teammates before the game and during the game as well on the bench and talking to them, making sure their mind stays in the game and with the team. I think that'll be huge as well. But yeah, just devastating blow for UConn today to hear that news. But still 2 months, but 2 months and still the season actually starts. Still got a long way to go until the off season and until the season actually starts. So.
Well, I tell you, we might as well tell them now, Ryan. We had Paige Bueckers listed at number 1 on our list for players that Iva came up with the series, and we have yet to resume that. We'll probably get to it later this week or this weekend, but sorry to break to everybody. But now, yes, Ryan, we had her listed at number 1. That episode, unfortunately, is canceled.
Yeah, and the next one will be Caroline Ducharme. I think after that, AZ Fudd, and then the final one will be Dorka Juhas. So we have those to look forward
There's your
to.
answer. You talked about Lou Lopez. How about Dorka Juhas now? How much bigger is she in this team?
Yeah, I mean, I just think everybody's kind of just role in general is going to take just an extra step up and the expectations level. And now with Paige out, I think everybody's role is just going to make that much of a difference on this team.
And we have the rest of August, September, and October to predict that starting lineup. They love it, and we all know that you love it. Predicting a starting lineup without the star in UConn, Paige Bueckers. Ryan, Phil, and Ryan, listen up.